Our next work of art is another Kouros. This one is called the Anavysos Kouros because he was found in Anavysos, which is just outside of Athens. And he is a young man, nude, standing frontal, one leg advancing forward. Now we still, fortunately, we still have his base with the inscription. So we know a little bit more about this guy. Let me just go back to it. Here. So there's his base, and here he stands. He stands at, oh goodness, 6 feet 4 inches. Whew. And the inscription indicates that he was a grave marker. It invites visitors to come and stay and mourn at the tomb of the dead Kouros, whom raging Ares, god of war, destroyed one day as he fought in the foremost ranks. So Anavysos Kouros, we know his name was Kouros, and he was a young man who was killed in battle. And as the inscription says, he was killed by raging Ares, god of war. So the Greeks had 2 gods of war. There was Athena, who was goddess of justified warfare. And then there was Ares, who was the god of rage and vengeful warfare. So he, Kouros, dies in battle. In fact, it is the greatest honor for a Greek man to die in battle. It was expected for every Greek male citizen to serve in the military, and it was seen as the greatest honor to die in battle. So here our young man Kouros has this great honor, and the inscription identifies him as being killed not only in battle, but as he fought in the foremost ranks. So he must have been from not only an important family, but he must have been an extremely skilled warrior. The statue is so lovely. He still has pieces or elements of the paint. So this reddish color here, this kind of rust color, that's the oxidization of the black paint that would have been his black curly hair. And then you can still see his eyes a little bit there. So he still has a little bit of the paint that would have been on this statue. But he's also smiling. Well, it's archaic smile, right? I put the vocabulary word there just in case you didn't write it down the last time. So he's got this archaic smile, and you might be wondering, why is he smiling? He's dead, and he died in battle. But remember, he's not happy. The smile is not there to be like, yay, I'm dead. The smile is there to indicate that he is at the height or the prime of his existence. So the smile here is meant to indicate his honor, his power, his prestige, and to enliven this figure as it stands over his grave. Okay? Like I said, he's huge. But let's make a comparison now between him and the previous Kouros, not Moschophoros, but the Metropolitan Kouros. Now, I like to do this compare and contrast in class, and I wish that we were together. So we have the Kouros from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and we have the Anavysos Kouros. Now, they're both carved of marble, and they're only 2 inches in difference. So I don't want you to tell me, oh, this one's 2 inches shorter, that's the difference. No. Let's look at this in terms of the anatomy of the figures. How are they different? So I'll give you a few seconds to look at this, and then I'll pretend that we're in class together. Okay, yeah, You had, okay, what's your observation? The hair! Yes, what about the hair? It does. It does fall more naturally on the sides. Look at how it even kind of curls up and collects at the nape of his neck. Yes, okay, okay, good. What else do we see? Yes, the chest. The chest muscles. The artist has carved the marble to give a heavier weight to the shoulders, the pecs. Look at those abs. Rather than just like a slight carving to indicate the rib cage and the ab muscles, we have these fantastic big bulging ab muscles. Okay, okay. What else? The proportions. The proportions seem more accurate. His face isn't a long oval, right? A Metropolitan, his face was a little too long, and the shoulder width and breadth, those hips were too narrow. So we're seeing a little bit more accurate representation in the Anavysos Kouros. Okay. What else? All right, yes, they both have the movement of one leg advancing forward. Oftentimes students will ask me, is there a difference in if it's the left leg or the right leg moving forward? You know, conspiracy theory, people would like to say that there is some kind of a distinction, but there hasn't been a proven reason for why a left leg or a right leg moves forward. It just is. What else? The knees, yes. We were so impressed by the knees, and yet look at how they are more accurate now, less stylized. Okay, okay. What about here? How about this one? I show you this one because I want you to notice the movement, or the bend, I should say, the bend of his arms. The Metropolitan Kouros has this very stiff arm posture, and Chrysos of Anavysos, there's a lighter curve to his arms. It's, well, I'm just going to say it. He's a little bit more activating the space. Yes, he's frontal, and it's best seen from the front, but the slight bend of his arm is more accurate to how we stand. Think about it. When we stand, we don't stand perfectly straight. Our muscles relax and move, and our arms have this slight bend to them. And we see the attention to that arm at rest and that bend, but it also helps to give us a sense of movement on the sides. It's activating the space. I'm going to be using that term a lot in this class. So we see a little bit more activation of the space because of that bend of the arm. What about his face? Well, he still has bug eyes, yeah, but there is a little bit more attention to cheekbones and the incorporation of the nose and the chin, right? Let's look at him up close. Look at that. Yeah. So we're seeing some more accurate physical representation of the human form. And we're going to see this improve and become even more accurate as we go through the Archaic period. I keep on saying that these are painted. This is what artists believe, or sorry, this is what art historians believe these types of Kouros would have been painted to look like. I usually get a few chuckles in class because it's so striking in a difference. But I told you that they would have been painted a flesh tone. They would have had painted nipples and pubic hair, and here's his, adorable long curly black hair. So if that's helpful, all of that is gone, but that is what these types of Kouros would have looked like.